All right, we're back for our third episode of Between Two Biomes, number 3.
Who would have
Um,
thunk? Who would
yeah,
have
who would
thunk
have
we would have
thunk?
gotten to 3, you know?
Yeah, let's bring our ugly mugs in here on some
Oh, no.
video. So I am Masta Blasta. I have my partner in bourbon crime, humorous guy, whatever you want to call him, Mashie. Say hello, Mashie.
Hello, Mashie. How are you?
And then we also have our special guest for this week. Well, I shouldn't say week because we've been taking a little time off, but we have Pac-Man. How you doing,
Hello,
Pac?
everybody. Hello, everyone.
How you
Pac, how
doing?
are you?
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
joining
me.
us.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
Um, so holiday break. How was everybody's break? Good?
Yeah, it was nice. It was last thing. Let's go with you. How was your break, Master? Let's start with you, Master Blaster.
I had a great break.
Good.
Fortunately, my company does we shut down. Like they literally
Nice.
say we're closing the doors, turn off your
Nice.
laptops, go home and don't do any work. Now they force us to take vacation time, which at first when they said this, I was like, that's bogus. I don't want forced vacation. But when I came back to work, I wasn't like slammed, you know.
Because
So
everybody was off, right? So
everybody
you
was
weren't
off.
just,
It was
yeah, that's
fantastic.
great.
I didn't get all the emails and any of that stuff. So yeah, I had a great break. Something funny but not so funny happened, which was I had my indoor golf league over. We were playing one night, and one of my friends hits, and I hear a clang, and his 4-iron came right off the end of his club and put a hole in
Oh,
my impact screen.
Jesus.
I'm not sure the funny part of that
Oh,
story.
wow.
When
It
you
wasn't
still with
funny at the time, but now we all laugh about it, right? So I had to get a patch. You know, we stopped playing because I didn't want to hit any more balls into it to make it worse.
or go through into the wall behind it, right?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yep.
So that was kind of a bummer, and I had to cancel a lesson with Shanky. I don't know if you guys take lessons from Shanky, um,
I do not,
but
but
I
I
had to
hear
cancel
great
my
things
lesson
about
with
it.
him, and he's hard to get. He's a busy guy, so I had to
Yeah.
reschedule that. But how about you, Mashie? And I guess you were home for the holiday. Maybe you traveled a little bit. I think.
I did. Yeah, thanks. We had some family come in town over the holiday. It's always great to see our family. My wife's parents came in, and we did have a little Southwest Airlines mishap with everybody else when they were trying to go home. And
Oh,
then for
yeah.
Ooh,
me, my vacation really started after the holidays. I had a couple of buddies, and I headed out to the big island of Hawaii last week and
Ooh,
spent about 4 days down there playing golf and in the beautiful 82
that's
degree
rough.
Hawaii. Yeah,
That's
it's rough,
rough. So
rough. So
rough. I feel
it was
sorry
great.
so
for you.
jealous.
I will say played pretty well. Pretty happy with my game. So sim golf in the winter
Works.
time and
Telling me it works.
taking that to the course. It worked. It worked for sure. I mean, people say it doesn't, but it does. And I may have a new course in the future to be developing. Let's just leave it at that.
I think what most people
Cool.
don't understand. You see so many people on Facebook and Discord. They say, "Hey, is anybody working on this course? Will someone do this course?" And you have to. There's two ways you're going to get a course done. You're going to pay for it, or you have to find someone who's passionate about it. Or I guess the third thing is you got to do it yourself, right?
Do it yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, how about
And
you,
we have
Pac-Man?
yeah, have pack.
Yeah, see, my break. I have two young daughters or young adults, kind of grown up kids now, but they were home for holiday break, so I got to hang out with them, which is a treat. And
Nice.
we don't get to do a lot of stuff often since they've all grown up, but we got to go see Avatar, which was a great movie, by the way. So
I'm
I
going tomorrow.
recommend it
I'm
for you
going
guys.
tomorrow.
Okay.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler free.
By
Is
the
it
way,
really 3.5 hours long?
oh yeah, it was 3.5 hours, but it didn't even seem like that. I do have to say though, guys, that your what you did over your break was really great to hear the second time around. I know the viewers don't know, but we had to do a take two on this thing. So
Well, so what happened is, I'm drinking my bourbon. Mashie's drinking his bourbon. Well, I'm drinking Redemption, and I apparently I got started too early because I wasn't doing a video capture. So we went through and got started, and all of a sudden I realized I looked down and I was not capturing any video, just our voices. So we
Just
had
our
to
voice.
start over again. Whoops,
That's okay. That's
whoops.
okay.
It's all
And so
good.
that's
redemption,
cool.
redemption. Let's do our drinks. Everyone wants to know what we're drinking.
Yeah.
Yep. Redemption. Where is it from? I don't know.
I don't know, my basement.
My basement, my drawer. Okay, got it.
I have no
We're gonna.
idea.
My
Yeah.
goal is to up your bourbon cabinet over the course of our series. Okay, so I on the other hand, from the last video, the last couple of these, I like small batch bourbons. I'm a big fan of big batch bourbon too, but really
You're
small
so
batch bourbon. So
bougie. You're so bougie.
I'm doing a local Colorado. It's out of Elizabeth called Mash Build. This is the black label, and it is aged in Kona coffee barrels. So I figured since I was in Kona about 3 days ago, that it felt like a right one for tonight.
All right.
Sounds awesome.
So is it good? Is it caffeinated?
It's not. I don't know if it's caffeinated, but you can absolutely taste some of the coffee behind the bourbon. It's actually really good.
All right. So let's get going here. And as everybody knows, we have a thing here at the beginning of the show between two biomes. We take our guest, Pakman, and we put the ball gag on him, right? So he can't talk. And then we go what we call our quick list. But ain't too quick this week, is it? Because we waited too long to have our third show. We might have to force ourselves to do this every week, no matter what, because we fall behind. Right. So 18 courses, that's almost one a day when we're out. Now, these came in batches. It wasn't really one a day, but we can't cover them all, unfortunately. And I love to give these designers the attention they deserve because, frankly, they pour their hearts and souls into these courses. I know what it's like when you release your first course. You're so proud of it. But unfortunately, we just don't have time on the show. So the things that you see in blue here, we're going to dig down a little bit deeper into those because one is they might be something special about that course, but the big thing is I just didn't have time to go through all these courses, right? So I'll be straight up with you. So there's 18 courses. The ones in black, I'm going to at least show you some screenshots. So if you're looking through this, you get an idea if there's, if you like, if you like the looks of a course, you kind of know right away. So let's just start going through the ones in black there. The first one is TPC Boston by Labor of Love. I actually did play this course because this was released early in the break when I had some time and I was playing. So I actually hit through this. I love the course. My only suggestion would be with when you turn it on, just dial down the saturation a little bit.
A little high.
Yeah, it's a little high. And it has nothing to do with necessarily the way they designed it. It's just, it might be something with the way he did his advanced lighting or whatever. Just turn down the saturation a tad. I recommend you do that with every course. Turn on the advanced lighting and just tweak it for your system. Okay. But TPC Boston by Labor of Love. And we also have the Old Town Country Club by the Laser Doc himself. I think he's got a couple. This isn't his first published course.
No, he's got a couple. He's not his first. Yeah,
I thought so. He's been around for a little bit.
This is a good-looking course, though.
Yeah, it is. I do like it when guys put a lot of color in there. But yeah, definitely a good-looking course for sure. Atlas Valley by some guy named Pakman. I don't know.
Pakman, dude. I think he's got one or two out there, up and coming.
Yeah. Then we got John Daly Golf Club.
John Daly Golf Club. Sign me up. It's a giant driving range. It's one hole, and all you do is hit balls.
And drink bourbon.
And drink.
Now we thought this was John. I saw John Daly several times when I opened this up, and but it's by Begins Witty. Which actually you can. The more you drink, the easier it is to say. I think.
I feel like it's an anagram, and there's some hidden name in there
it
somewhere.
Could be. Or is it Big and Sweaty? Is that what it is?
Sweaty. It's Big and Sweaty. That's what it is. Big and Sweaty. That's exactly.
And the thing is, it's our second time through it. It took me an extra bourbon to see that. See,
I have a story on this later at a later date.
Okay.
And more bourbon. So
Big and Sweaty.
Big and Sweaty.
All right. And then we have the Hayward Golf Club, designed by MacGyver. Oh, MacGruber. It's M. Gregor. M. Gregor, yes.
M. Gregor.
And then we have the trifecta. So I don't think I've ever seen a new designer put out 3 courses like off the bat. Like I don't know how.
No.
Took me all my effort to get through one, and Struronek. I might be putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Struronek. So he did 1, he did 2, he did 3. And not only that, but this one he definitely did some very cool sat shading and some mow lines. pretty solid
Yeah.
stuff there, right?
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good courses. Look at you can see your FPS on them. They look great on it. So
Yeah,
like they're
performance is
really
good.
well done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got the second one. I think we've reviewed his Z Hanky, his first course on the last show, and then they cranked out another one. So great stuff here as well. Love seeing these new designers.
Like
And
I
then we
feel
got
bad.
one by the golf boy.
It
Go
still
ahead.
takes me. It still takes me. I could get a course from idea. I want to do this course into Unity in probably an hour, and then it sits in Unity for like 3 months. And these guys are pumping out courses like 3 at a time. So, yeah, this is Golf Boy. Golf Boy's come on the scene pretty strong the last several months. Young
13,
kid,
13,
young
13.
man, I should say. Sorry, I think he's 13. Love to see young guys like this.
He's got a
getting
good
in here and
swing too.
building
I saw a
courses.
video his dad posted. He's got a good swing.
He's got a good swing. I saw that video.
You
Yeah,
might
so
outdrive me.
yeah, well, I mean, anybody outdrives you. Come on.
Yeah, that's
My
true.
daughter
It is
outdrives
true.
you. So good course, really well done. It's a tree line course that I like. I played through this one. I like tree line courses, as you guys know. Really well, good blending. I will say a couple of small, and Golf Boy, if you're listening to this, and I'll reach out to you offline, couple of small structural issues, like on the back side of 6. If you hit too long, one of the meshes is actually flagged as water, even though instead of deep rough. It goes in the water, and then it gives you an option to do a drop zone, and the drop zone takes you to 1,100 yards away. And most of us don't have the 1,100-yard shot in our bag. So it comes some small things like that. You got to go off the course to find them, though.
Yeah.
Main play was just fine.
Yeah. I would suggest for any like new designer, just play your course a lot, and don't rely. We do have a beta channel inside of the Discord for designers. If they don't catch everything, all right?
Yeah.
And especially if you're a new designer, we got so many things being released. A lot of times you don't even get a lot of new plays before it goes into beta. So just play it. Have your friends over. I think the best thing I do is on some of my new courses. We play them on Golf League night. I get 8 guys on it, and I find all kinds of stuff.
You'll find all kinds of things when people play it. The other thing I wanted to mention really quickly was I saw his dad. His dad's as you saw, an active poster for his son, which I think is great. Mostly on Facebook groups. His dad posted a picture of his setup of him building a course. Hey, Dad, buy the boy a big external monitor. Get the boy about a 34-inch external monitor that he can plug into his laptop, because trying to develop on a 15-inch screen sucks. So there's my plug for you.
Well, just having 2 screens is great, right?
Just having 2 screens is great. Yeah. So Dad, buy the boy a monitor.
And when's his birthday? Get him a nice big widescreen. And then we have Battleground Country Club by the one, the only. I keep on calling him Rapudrin because that's the wrong way. It's going to be my shtick from now on. I'm just going to pronounce everybody's name wrong. Like I keep on calling Pac-Man Pac, even though that Pac is really his surname. He isn't. Whatever.
Pac-Man.
I like to make people feel awkward. Who knows? But this course, I love how Run Pud Run does stuff like this. That just. So he puts, and I guess, was this the guy that commissioned the course? Is that what it was?
My understanding was it was the guy who commissioned the course, and he put ads and billboards on the course. And Run does stuff that no other designer does.
Yeah.
Whether it be
Pushing
explosions or concrete fairways or you name it. He's amazing and awesome. He's great.
He's not afraid to piss people off either, and he doesn't care. And that's what I like about him. Doesn't care. And then we have Waterville Valley Golf Course or Golf Club, designed by Squirreltail.
Squaretail. That's
Squaretail. Probably more accurate.
It was underwater because it was Waterville and the water receded. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Good looking course though.
I think that might be Waterville Ski Resort back behind there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I have skied there several times. I was a huge skier growing up, so I'm pretty sure that's Waterville.
If you had done that course, you would have actually put like ski lifts in there and little people going up and little skiers coming down. And the only way you could see it is if you flew over to it.
Yeah, and if Rud Pun Run had done it, he would have made the whole thing like a wintertime theme, and you'd be hitting through the snow.
The whole thing, you'd be hitting the snow. Exactly. Yep.
He does have like a Vikings Village or winter theme on his Patreon. Yeah.
He does.
And then we have another one here, Ashburn Golf Club by, I just call him
JG.
JG.
I call him JG.
Yeah. I didn't. This is one I have to go back in and look around a little bit more because he's a very talented blender artist too. So I'm sure he's got some cool stuff in here. And I'm sorry, but I should have looked around a little bit more to find that stuff. It's kind of like when you see somebody that's a blender artist come out, you're looking for kind of like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He does he and Justin do a lot of the work for my courses.
So first deep dive, I'm gonna say light deep dive, right? Which was Barefoot Dye, and of course, this is a Pete Dye course. And when you see Tech Bud team up with somebody like Ralph Perkins, you're like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" Right?
There's some magic happening here.
Yeah. And so, when it's tech, it's just going to be a great course. And I'd be curious to see what Ralph helped him out with on here. But I mean, the detail on here is amazing. And instead of showing you, this is more of like a new designer like thing here. I want to show you this is the view from the first tee shot. And a lot of times new designers are like, hey, how much do I need to worry about just off the course, or like there's a neighborhood or whatever. Let me just take you guys up in the air. and look how bare and minimalistic it is after you get on the other side of those trees. It just goes you to show if you're smart. I think these are only two different apartment buildings, and this is like only one or two different houses out there. But when you go back, you can't tell from here,
Right.
And that's just tech for you. I mean, he drops so many courses, and Pakman is the same way. They're very efficient at what they do. Okay, so just be aware of that. You don't need to go crazy.
Yeah, and listen, they're covering the flyover, which is really all you need
Yes.
to do. When you do a flyover in a hole, you can see the tops of those buildings in the distance, and that's what they did.
This is not a flyover. I went way up in the air to show you this. Okay, so just want to make clear of that. And then the clubhouse. I know Tech doesn't do his own clubhouses, and I don't know if Ralph doesn't do. I don't think he does Blender either. So I'm wondering who did the clubhouse for him. But this is the 18th, and I just thought it was just kind of like a cool scene, and the green comet as well, if you notice that, which is actually my mouse dragging across the screen as I was doing the screenshot. So, Mashie, tell me about Pilgrim's Run.
I'll take Pilgrim. So Pilgrims, I wanted to showcase Pilgrims for a couple of reasons. One, this is Lou Dog's first release. So he's a new designer, his first release.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on getting it out. It's a great course. It's a great track. It's not an overly difficult track. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like it's not a tree lined elevation where if your ball goes a little bit off the fairway, it's lost. Like from a golfing perspective, it's pretty forgiving, which is a good thing. It's got pretty good distances from 7,000 down to 5,000. But really the story behind it goes, and we can go to the next shot, was Lou Dog put this into beta, into the OPCD Discord beta channel, and was looking for some feedback. And my feedback to him was, it looks okay. Do you want some help? Would you like some? And he was like, oh, sure, I'd love to. And so I worked with him a little bit. He did all of the work. I just gave him a little bit of direction here and there, and he went off and did all the work. And he took what started out to be, which is just fine, an all dual text course using the standard dual text materials, and turned it into a really gorgeous sat shader with really nice blending for his first course out. And I think it really elevates. This is a screenshot off the first tee, and I took this for two reasons. One, I just love the view of the grasses and the hitting of the grasses over to the blending of that to the fairway. It's just a really good looking hole and a good look use of GSPro grasses, but also because, as you can see, we got a tree that's scaled a little too big. He knows this, he's fixing this up, and you can see some of these trees are all leaning a little bit. And so it's kind of a scaling issue on the trees that will get worked out.
So for new designers, oftentimes when you look at a tree, they'll give you a young tree, a medium, and a large tree. Don't take a young tree and try to make it into a big tree, because just look here to the right. See how big those pine needles are? They scale up too. So just be aware of that. Be careful.
Yep. Next screenshot I took was, I wanted to show this one. So this is off number 3 because it's very easy to set your grasses in VS Pro and then use the same grasses everywhere in the course. And it all kind of looks uniform, okay? And that's great. That's no problem. But really what makes a good course really good, one of the things is when you use different types of grasses in different areas of the course. And so in here, you'll notice that this hazard, which is really kind of this gross, marshy, swampy area, he used an entirely different set of grasses to get a completely different look off the number 3 tee than we had off the number 1 tee. So I thought that was a really good use of different types of VS Pro grasses for different looks on the course. Yep, exactly. You can see the differences there. And then I think I had one more screenshot after this, or that was it. So
that was it.
overall, good course, great looking course, nice blends, not an overly difficult golf course to play. So I'd put it on your list. I played it through in the sim and I moused through it. I found zero structural issues at all.
Nice.
Really, really fun, enjoyable course.
Yeah. Keep in mind that if you release a lot of courses and they have problems, people won't go back and play it again a lot. And I have a feeling a lot of time when people run into course issues, I would say 90% of the time they don't even report it, right?
Yeah.
And they're just going to turn it off, and guess what? They're not going to play it again. And if they're going to be really observant, they might even look who the designer is and just maybe not even play another one from that person. Who knows?
Yep. I always think it's better to take, and I learned this from my own mistakes. I think it's better to take longer to release a course, if you need to make sure that it's complete, than it is to rush just to get a quantity of courses out there and have them have issues on it. Because there's nothing worse than chasing down multiple issues across multiple courses. So this was a pleasant release here. You want me to take? I'll take this.
You take it. Yes, you take it. So, I think you spent a little bit more. I actually have not played this through. I've looked at it. I've not played it through.
I played through Streamsong. There is a lot. This one's an anticipated course. A lot of folks were asking in the Discord, in the SGT Discord, were asking for Streamsong. Florida LiDAR was recently updated. I know because I'm in the middle of doing Medalist, and so Streamsong and Medalist are kind of near each, not far away from each other. There's some similarities there, and so this one has been on people's radar. So really glad to see it launched. There's some elements of genius in this course. I was really happy to see this one. So great distances, you can see them all. So it's a very, very well-known signature course. Let's just jump in. Let's just go right to the screenshots because it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. The way they did grasses. Now, this course is going to be really unique. It was really hard to get a screenshot of it, so I didn't try. You'll have to go look in the game and look. There's no 3D grass on this course. All the rough is texture, and it looks like it's a really fine, nappy kind of a grass that isn't really a long grass, so it doesn't need a 3D grass texture on it. And he's got really long VS Pro grasses, as you can see in here, and you'll see in some of the screenshots. So what that's done is it's given over-the-top performance. I had a few holes that were at 120, 130 frames per second.
Which GPU are you running?
Yeah, I want my GPU running. Yeah.
No. What model GPU do you have?
I have a 3080 Ti.
Okay, so you got a piece of machinery there.
I got a piece of hardware here. Yeah, I need to put a special fan on it to keep it cool. So this was off number 6, and it was just a beautiful look, and you can see
looks so full. It's amazing to see that much lushness and grass, and then have a 102 down there in the corner.
And 102 down there, yeah.
And by the way, if you're playing GSPro, do not, unless you're a developer, you should not be running VSync off. Okay, you are taxing your GPU in a way that you do not need to. Okay, we do it for testing purposes. I do not recommend you do it.
Yep, agreed. I think this just kind of sums up the nature of the course. All the cart paths on this course are dirt. They're all sand. It's like Florida waste area, sand area. And the texture that he did on the sand, this is behind the tee box. I did free mode flying over there, and you can look at the VS Pro grasses on the right with the bench sitting in the sand. It just looks beautiful. It's very, very polished.
This is very impressed with. Is this his second course?
I think it's his second course.
That's what I thought so. Yeah,
I think that's correct. And then this one. again, this is sitting on the number 7 tee. I played through all 18, and I think I took like 30 screenshots, and I kind of pulled the best of them to put into here. And like, this is a hard shot to get. Master Blaster and I were talking before the show. In this type of lighting, low evening lighting, which I intentionally set to see, 'cause it's hard to make a course look good in this lighting.
You
You
get that
usually
weird
get some really
specular
weird
glare often.
glares and reflections off and this does not. This looks good in every lighting scenario at every time of day. Really full shot with water, with tea, with sand, with rough, with deep rough. It plays really well. It's not, from a golf perspective, it's not a super challenging course. It's not a super easy course. There's a fair amount of water. You miss some errant shots. There's tons of waste areas. Oh, I think there's one more shot to show
And
the
I could
waste
tell
area.
looking at these hazard lines, he spent a lot of time being very meticulous on getting those hazard lines precise.
There is nothing worse than your ball landing and it's in play, and then it marks it as a hazard because the hazard line isn't set right. So
Yeah.
I can really appreciate him taking the time on that.
Yep, absolutely.
And look at the 140 frames per second on that shot with the tank off, right? And then I took this one for just, again, waste area. You can see this is a waste area between the tee shot and the fairway, and the attention to detail, the texture on the sand, it's a really, really beautiful course to play.
It looks
And
windswept, you know? It looks windswept.
It's one of those courses. It reminds me of the other course that we did on the first show that I think Tech did in Florida, which is when I was playing it, I actually felt like I was there. I didn't feel like I was in my sim downstairs. I actually felt like I actually might have been there.
Oh, Palm Beach, the one that just made you feel warm.
Yeah, the Palm Beach one. It made
Yeah.
me feel warm in the sun. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So great course.
And then Georgia threes. Now we have Rusty Dave, I think, covered Georgia threes. Didn't he do Georgia threes on his?
He did. He's doing some great videos of him playing through these courses.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thought I would bring this up as well because not only it's a little place down in Georgia, a pretty popular place where people play tournaments every year, but this is the executive course there, right? So it's just 9 holes, but of course when you have something released by DPR Roberts, right?
Roberts, yeah,
who is the man behind most of practically all the tools that we use. When he releases something, you sit up and you pay attention, right? And not only that, but these are using some of the new the V4 tools that we're all anticipating a release of. And it's just a great looking course. Also, I played this last night with my buddies when we had the indoor golf league. And one of the reasons I like this is just a lot of water to hit over. And I normally it's a par 3 course, so like when I'm with the guys and we do the thing where we all throw a buck down closest to the pin, and if no one's on the green, what we do is we call it a no quality, and all the money pushes to the next hole, right? So when we played this last night, I think we had 3 holes that got pushed. So at one point the pot was up to like $35, right? 10 of us throwing in $1. It was up to $35 because we couldn't hit the greens are small, and there was really I don't think I have the hole in here, but there was one. The greens here are actually really challenging too.
Yeah.
So I think it was like the second push. Some guy hits one on, the ball lands, and he's like 7 feet from the pin, and all of a sudden it just starts to trickle down. And you should hear 10 guys in my house going, go, go, go. And the ball just trickle and off the green, and we just absolutely lose it, because, now the pin pushes again, and we're off to a triple layover here for our closest to the pin. But obviously a very beautiful course, lots of water. Whenever we hit in the water, we do a shot, right? So, Mashie, your must-play course of the week, what is it?
It's hard. For me, it was between Streamsong and Georgia 3, for all the ones we looked at, and I'm going to put my hat in on Streamsong.
I'm going to have to agree.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree there. Although Georgia 3 is beautiful, it's done with the V4 tools. I think a par 3 course is a little bit of a novelty thing.
Yeah.
I love playing par 3s, but if I'm going to go out and play, I'm going to do Streamsong this week. And Pakman, sorry, Pakman. If you had to pick a course this week that you wanted to play, and it can't be one of your own, so I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh, I think Streamsong is beautiful.
Okay.
So, I would love to play that one for sure.
All right. Fantastic.
Agreed. Agreed.
So we do have a guest here tonight. If you know that we do because we've already introduced
said
him
it.
once, but I have to have his. If I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. The guys on the when I record this, they'll be able to hear this, but you guys might not be able to, which is the theme song for Pac-Man Fever. I got a pocket full of quarters headed to the arcade.
We'll put that in the release video of that. That's awesome.
So Pac-Man, first of all, I want to say, based on your name, I am really thrilled to have you here because it's not too often that we get, Green Bay Packers fans here, right? I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. You obviously are if you pick a name like Pac-Man, right? So, how long have you been a Packers fan?
I heard you picked Pac-Man just because you're such a huge Green Bay Packers fan.
Yeah. No, I've been a Packers fan all my life, so it's fitting that my last name is Pac. Yeah, it's coincidence, but pretty awesome anyway. No.
That's where you get the name from. Oh.
That's awesome.
Boston area, so Patriots are my team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know everybody hates them, but I love them.
Love them or hate them, right?
Yep.
So you have your own Patreon, all right? So tell me what you have behind your Patreon. If I join your Patreon, what can I get behind there?
Yeah, so I have right now I think 20 or so courses, and I'll say that they're pretty much divided up evenly, probably between the premium build and kind of the medium build, and about a third is what I've been calling. They don't want to spend a lot of money, but they want something that's kind of played accurately, the trees in the right places, and practice your home course so you can kick your buddy's butt, right?
Yeah, they want their home course, so they don't want to put every bit of detail and everything into it. Right. Yeah.
Third of those kind of courses. Now I have like 25 maybe in game, so I have more in game than on Patreon. And what I do is, at least for the premium courses, I make sure to bring them into SGT eventually, so we can share it with everybody. Good. And a lot of times, the people who pay for it to build the courses, that's part of their intent too. They want to share their awesome home course and make everybody play it too. So,
have you done a course for somebody that was like, I want it just for me and my buddy, and I don't want to ever put it on SGT. It's just my own course.
I've had it happen maybe 3 times, and I didn't do those. I think I did one of them actually, but he didn't understand what it meant to share with people. He thought it would cost more for me to put it out there or something. But yeah, I shared by everybody because I feel like the price that I offer, really, the fact that I can share with everybody, the fact that I can use it on my Patreon and get some PR and all that kind of stuff is, kind of the part of the, equation of, how much I decide to charge somebody. If they want it all for themselves, I would have to maybe
makes sense.
Maybe charge a little more,
So we're here with one of your ones that just got released. This sat on your Patreon for a while. Customer commissioned you to build it. A customer commissioned you to build it, and you just got it launched on SGT this week, I think, right?
Came out yesterday, I think.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so if you look at a lot of my courses, they're super flat Midwestern courses because we have a lot of players, I guess, in Midwest that play GSPro and they want their home courses built. Unfortunately, they're flat as pancakes for the most part. I was really excited when I got the LiDAR and the request for this one because this has elevation changes, got beautiful backdrop. So I was kind of excited from the beginning, and it had a pretty good satellite overlay. And I hadn't really done anything with the floor that's kind of unique like this, rocky, fescue kind of a challenging, and I thought it would come out looking really good.
So I played through this course. I have played through this course in real life. Because this course is about 35 minutes south of my house. And you know that I am the Colorado designer here. So stay the hell out of my backyard, buddy.
Arr, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. No, I was thrilled to see Red Hawk Ridge make it into SGT. It's a great course. I have played it in real life a few times. And as we go through some of this course, and I'm just going to say it right here, as someone who has played this course in real life, the SGT version plays very similarly to the real course. And as you can see, do you see that little mountain, the little flat top mountain way off in the back left there? We're kind of where you're going over there. That is actually Castle Rock. It is the Castle Rock. It looks just like that, and it is the town where this course is located. So you didn't only capture the course, you captured the area around it extremely well.
Make sure that it's an outer to capture those kind of interesting features, you know. So it's wide open. You need an outer for this one. I'm glad I did that. That looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. As a matter of fact, if you really wanted to, you could put a star on there. And so if they played at night, it lit up, because during the holidays, they put a star on the top of the Castle Rock, and they have a big ceremony to light the star and everything. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
And by the way, if you're seeing choppiness in the video feed, it's not the course that's choppy. It's just my computer is humming right now, trying to do about 10 different things at once. So what I found is I see a lot of new builders. They ask about this. You have a lot of houses and neighborhoods in the outside of here. I have to ask, how many different model houses do you have here, do you think?
I think maybe 3, but you know, pairs like, you know, modified. So I have 2 of different colors, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So not that many, really 3 or maybe 4.
And that's what I just want to make a point, guys. You can't tell, all right? And don't get so hung up on those things. Like, you can go and you can reverse them, you can mirror image them, right? You can change the color slightly, you can turn them around, and you can do all kinds of things with this. And like, so I'm just looking through here, and I don't feel like there's just 3 models of houses. Right?
No, and you throw some trees in front of them or some bushes in front of them where you can't see the whole house, and no one will ever know.
Yep.
I kind of feel like it's the same thing when you play real golf. Heck, I don't remember what the house's colors were on the fairways.
Yeah, exactly. That's your signature, like right there. That's your signature. I think that your signature shading on your cart paths. I've seen this now on a couple of your courses. I love it. I want to steal it for a course that I'm working on right now, so I'll call you offline.
Is that the dropped 3DG on it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think DG is part of it. I've had mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. It gives you kind of a concretey asphalt look.
Yeah. Rough.
But I think what really helps is kind of the shading. So it's like darker in the middle and kind of dark bands on the end, and have a dark, light, dark kind of a shading on it. That makes it really kind of nice looking.
And if I get my assets right on that tee shot we were just looking at, that looks like some of the nature manufacturer bushes from the mountain pack.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right. And then Sting's done a wonderful job making this available for the designers, and it's awesome.
Yeah, great looking course. Great course. It plays really well. Love the movement of the grasses in the wind, and love the placement of the grasses. You did a really, really good job, especially for your, I guess, first chance at kind of a foothills. Not truly a mountain course. You know, we're in the foothills there. So great job.
Thank you.
And are those real bushes, or are those trees that you dropped?
Are you talking about the stuff that's on the left?
The left and the right.
Oh, you know, you were just talking about how not to scale up bushes or trees, but I think that might be a scaled up the mountain.
Okay.
The ones on the left right there are dwarf pines.
Okay, got it.
They're tree objects, but they're basically bush size.
Yeah, but they're the size of a bush. Yeah, so they play as a bush. Yep, they plant as a bush. Yeah, really good.
So
really nice.
Pakman, I might ask new designers, what's your biggest F up? Like, have you ever done anything where you're just like, oh crap, I can't believe I just did that?
Of course.
I don't mind.
It popped right into my head. So I don't think it's the biggest, because I've like completely trashed courses. But what's frustrating is if you plant on a lower terrain and meticulously and then you realize like half of your trees are like buried about 2 feet deep, or 1 meter deep or whatever. Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Master, what was your biggest screw up?
Probably one. So I use OneDrive to sync and back everything up, and I had turned it off at one point to kind of because I thought it was I was troubleshooting some performance, and I thought maybe OneDrive was doing some stuff.
Okay.
And then I turned it back on, and I can't remember what the prompt was at the time, but it basically said, I want to overwrite everything in one direction or the other. And I took all my changes I just did and overwrote them from what was on
From the
OneDrive. And I
older
lost
changes on
probably like
OneDrive.
several days worth of work. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, mine was Castle Pines, and I had done a ton of terrain work, and I exported the terrain, and then planted all my houses and everything, and then realized I had to come back and do more terrain work, and then I brought my raw file in, and it overrode everything I'd done on my houses. So I had to go back and redo all the house terrain, all the house leveling again. I don't learn, so I did that same mistake 3 times.
Over terrain thing, I did it 3 times too. By the way, I did modify the script and I gave it to John so that the foliage train is always turned on after the build. So now
Nice.
I'm always planting. You just have to make sure the foliage terrain and collider's on. Yeah.
So, Pakman, if someone wants you to build a course, what does that process look like? And walk me through what they should expect.
Yeah, so the first thing I do is make sure that there is basically good raw. So you need good raw material. Personally, I'm hesitant to take on like a recreation of like modifying the LiDAR. Someone says, hey, there are like these new fairways here, new bunkers and reshaped greens. I try to kind of shy away from that because I don't feel like I can do it justice and bring out a course, the way that it really, is or they're expecting. So raw material, I make sure that happens. And then it's really, if I can get a lot of feedback from the customer in terms of like photos or, what the courses look like. So what I typically do is I do to a customer and say, hey, can you verify that you're happy with the tees and the pins and kind of overall terrain? And that might be a dual text, Mickey Mouse version of the course. And then once I get that back and get a sign off, I do two holes from beginning to end. That includes the texturing and the trees.
Interesting.
And then once that 2 hole is signed off and I say, hey, I'm really happy with the coloring, I'm happy with the choice of trees, then I can quickly sort of do the other 16. And it prevents you from having to redo a whole bunch of stuff if someone says, the trees are all wrong, you need this kind of pine here. So that's kind of the overall process.
It's a great process. I hadn't thought about doing that. I don't do it for charge, so I've never thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense now hearing it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty smart. It's funny because that's what we recommend to our new designers for them to do like 2 holes.
2 holes.
Yeah, to completion and then go back. So it's better to do that in some other scenarios too. I want to say thank you to Pakman because you are a huge contributor to the community in general. I know that you're a very good LiDAR resource, which is very helpful. One of the challenges that I have is I feel like I'm very familiar with the whole process. However, I'm not an expert in anything, and there's many times when you've jumped in and helped me explain concepts, or you've just jumped in and you're new people. I think you're one of the most active people on Discord, just helping new people out, and that's just fantastic. So I want to say thank you for that.
Your
really
scripts as well, the scripts that you provided the community. I use your lake mesh to poly, your lake to mesh poly script from RAM for everything I do in every course. So echo what Master Blaster was saying around your contributions. Thank you very much.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really, helping out like when a designer puts out their first course, that's so awesome. I hate to see people like give up though. So I try to encourage people. We all do, I know.
Yep.
And not only does Pakman build courses, but if you start a course, The LiDAR section of the course, there was a little bit of debate online the other day. I felt like it's the most uninspiring part, but it's the first thing you have to do is gather LiDAR, and it's very technical, right? You have to be very methodical about it, and that is not what the course building experience is, because the LiDAR, you have something at the end, and there's not much artistic portions of it, right? So I recommend to a lot of new designers, hey, go to Pakman. He'll do your LiDAR for you, right?
Yeah, LiDAR is fun though. I find LiDAR to be very satisfying. I think it's one of those things it doesn't take long to do, and I like seeing it in Unity for the first. Like, wow, I took a satellite image and now it's sitting in Unity with shape to it. I think it's really cool to do that. I agree. All the Unity work is the creative arm. That's the canvas for sure.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that some people will give up because they get stuck, and we don't want to see that for sure.
Yes,
but if somebody wants to build their own LiDAR, I'm always in there trying to help them out too. So,
but you're over there to do it for them if they need it.
Yep.
So, any parting thoughts, guys, before we wrap up?
Yeah, one question for Pakman on this course specifically, since it was kind of your first foray up here in the high desert, as we like to call it sometimes. How was your what was your thought on what was your challenges? Did you have any issues that you ran into that was unique to this, or was it a pretty standard build for you?
A load of houses. I mean, it's mechanical, but that takes time.
Yeah.
I really spent a lot of time on texture, and I think more and more I build, I'm realizing that like the texture is what makes it like kind of look natural. So even if like a course doesn't have a wow factor, when you're playing it, if everything kind of blends and if it's kind of pleasant and soft to your eye, that's kind of what I'm going for. So spend a lot of times on texture, blended when there should be, you want hard edges sometimes on the edges of bunkers and car paths maybe. Making those kind of decisions on which edges are going to have hard blends and which edges going to have soft blends. So a lot of texture stuff is what I concentrate on, I think, to get that, put it over that edge to really make it look kind of hyper realistic and comfortable to play and kind of suit your eye, and nothing kind of sticks out and say, wait, I saw that thing, I can't unsee it anymore, that kind of thing.
It's great. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
All right. Well, let me minimize this. So we'll try to keep up with the courses a little bit better, give them some more attention in the coming weeks.
No
guarantee.
No holidays between us next.
Yeah, we're busy guys, but we'll try to figure something out between us. But I would say thank you for watching. Please, if you made it to the end here, please subscribe, and see you, hopefully on the golf course, in the simulator, or something. So, guys.
Yep, we'll see you. Yep, Masta, thank you so much. Pakman, thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Pakman.
it.
Join my Patreon.
Join his Patreon.
We'll see you in the Discord too.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.